Okay, if everyone is set and ready, we will kick off with Gareth.
Hi, Wendy, doing all right?
Good, thank you.
When you left last week, Dylan Lewis and Dan Bigger, one in the sling, one sort of holding his up shoulders, might put his down. How pleased are you that they've come around?
Yeah, very pleased, obviously. Two key players for us. And the medical team, I've got to say, have done a fantastic job. They had a light early part of the week, but both trained today and came through that well. So very pleased for them.
They're ticking the boxes now, going ahead of Saturday?
No, I think they took those today. We've just got a captain's run left and they'll take part in that. So, yeah, everything's in place for Saturday.
So, be able to name the same side as the first test, only one change from last week. Having that settled 15-23, how important does that mean for you on this tour?
Yeah, well, that's what we wanted to achieve. We wanted to start get some combinations going and then reward good performance. So we've been able to do that. Yeah, the main thing for us now is making sure the boys have petrol in the tank ready to go for Saturday. So it's, as I say, this week's been a little bit of an adjustment from last week. A few banged up boys, but sore in the early part. But obviously it's a big occasion on Saturday, one which the players are all looking forward to, and we'd like to think that the effort will be there as it has been in the first two tests.
That energy Wayne, you've obviously had the same side for 3 weeks. The Springboks have obviously reshuffled 14 changes and 10 personal changes this week. How important is that in terms of freshness?
Oh, we'll see on Saturday, won't we? But clearly they've had a week to freshen up. Our boys, as I say, have gone pretty much toe to toe with two different sides over the last 2 weeks, and we'll be physically ready. And now it's a big mental challenge for us to get up and go again after the excitement of the last few minutes of last week. So clearly we celebrated that. Now it's a matter of getting back out there and going, well, there's one more big game and there's an opportunity for both sides to win a series. So there's a lot to play for.
And George Norton as well as his moves cats back on the weekend, just to sum up on that milestone, especially after he's come back from the series injury. Yeah,
well, Stephen didn't want to select him this week for some reason. It was a 2-1 vote rather than a 3-0 vote. But no, on a serious note, he's a marvellous player for us. He's been a big player for years and years, and to come back from the serious injury that he had, I'm just pleased that he's out there and he'll get to go on the big stage again for us. And to play 105 tests in any jersey is marvellous achievement. So he becomes the most capped back and probably third of all time.
1 all in, but it's big time. Not many men have said that before it all started. How much do you want to create a little bit of history here, both from the personal side in the series?
Oh, look, it would mean the world to the team. They've worked very, very hard to get themselves in this position. So we're very pleased to be coming into this week, with something to play for, which in the past hasn't happened. So, look, I think for us, it's, as I said earlier, it's getting it right mentally now. It's been 3 big, hard weeks for us and really a massive test match. We know that, but certainly to be in the race is very pleasing.
How different is this week when there is something on the line compared to perhaps?
Well, huge. It's like in any sport. Davis Cup of dead rubber. It's the match still gets played, but it doesn't quite have the same significance. For this test series, the first 2 tests, if they're anything to go by, and then throwing a series decider in, it just adds another bit of spice to it. So look, really, really happy for the guys that we've got this opportunity. Now it's a matter of going out there and doing the game justice.
Obviously, very consistent side for 3 games. South Africa kind of rested a lot of their players last week and have brought them back this week. What do you make of that dynamic? Perhaps you were a little bit banged up then, perhaps a bit fresher. Yeah,
look, I think we both came into the series wanting to achieve the same thing, that's win a series, but I think we're at different parts of our season, and for us it's around now getting some continuity. For South Africa it's around, I guess, looking at their squad with what they've got coming up. We go into a break now, so before starting the season run into the World Cup. So we're in slightly different ends of the spectrum, really. So I understand exactly what they did by doing that. Yeah, they've got a pretty fresh squad, obviously. So it'll be a test for both sides. We would like to think that we've got a bit of continuity. And the boys have now played together. This is the 3rd week of training together. So hopefully that's going to put us in good stead.
Yeah. Been an interesting dynamic as well, perhaps coming into the series as underdogs. Then last week, given the way they selected their team, kind of put a bit of pressure on you really to get a result. Now is probably a bit more of a thing if not maybe slightly underdogs again. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think, if we put the first 2 tests behind us now and just look at this as a one-off game and the winner takes all, really, a series win. So, Look, I think there'd be pressure on the home team. There's no doubt about that, because going in, they were red hot favourites, weren't they? And to be taken to the last game, I think that adds a little bit of spice, a bit of pressure. But certainly they're a quality team. And you look at the team sheet, you know, it's close to the team that we played in the first test, and you know that was a humdinger. And you know, both squads have been together a bit longer now, so look, it's going to be a fair old challenge for us. But we know that, but one which, you know, I think all the soreness and the tiredness of the tour goes out the window when you get that adrenaline and kickoff comes.
The last thing is a bit of consternation about the pitch perhaps on Saturday, maybe cutting off a bit. I know probably haven't been mistaken yet, but is that something you're concerned about?
Yeah, well, look, we know that to be the case, and we've certainly been told that on a number of occasions. So, look, that may affect scrums, and you know, both sides will catch up with the referee between now and kick-off time. And you know, we just hopefully, if that is happening, that they're a little bit sympathetic for the players. But certainly, both teams have got to play on the same pitch. So it really, it's irrelevant. Really, it's the same for both.
Wayne, last week it seems as if you guys held your fire, but until the last 15 and you really put the heat on the box and got the late try. Do you feel that you guys should have similar tactics this time around, or because of the challenge of playing two sort of the same teams for 2 weeks in a row, that you might have a different approach come out of the positives?
We certainly, it wasn't intentional to come hard at the end. We certainly tried to get the start that we had in the first test. And I think, you know, every side's trying to do that. And we're no different this weekend. We'll need to get a good start. We know that. So if we could replicate anything like the first test, we'd be very, very happy. But look, it was also good to finish the game strongly after the week before, where our discipline cost us, and it was probably a role reversal, really. So, look, both sides, I think we want to achieve the same thing this week: a good start, a disciplined performance, and try to get some sort of control early. But look, it's one of these games where, you know, if we can stay in it and be there at the end, then you know, our fitness levels are good. We've got a lot to play for, so you know, we'd fancy ourselves in the closing stages if the game is tight.
Is there one area you think that will decide again?
Oh, look, I think nothing has changed in terms of the Springboks have got a very good, powerful scrum, got a very good driven line out. So for us, what has to happen is we have to have a disciplined display, make sure that we don't give away the silly penalties we did in the first test, and certainly the yellow cards have plagued us. We want to make sure we can tighten that up, and if we can play with 15 players against 15, then we'd be very, very happy.
But when the change at scrum off, putting Jalen Hendrickson back in and playing in that second test as well, ahead of Pivac, is that something that you could potentially look at targeting, knowing that, you know, you potentially not as experienced as Pivac potentially?
You know, we'll try to put pressure on South Africa across the board. You know, from the first whistle where we can. He played well, I thought, in the second test. And to have a player, a world-class player like Faf, to come on and see the game out. I guess both the first two tests have been pretty close. When we played in Cardiff, it was very close, and they've all gone down to that last sort of 5-10 minutes. So to have probably one of the best halfbacks in the world seeing the game out is probably not a bad situation to be in. Certainly, I thought they've both played well in the series.
Just on your own scrum, so I think you mentioned that Kieran was a tactical substitution last weekend. How close was that decision between him and Tom?
Look, we think that Kieran's been doing a great job with the kicking side of the game. His general play has been pretty good. So, you know, we're comfortable with him starting the 3 matches in the series, and, you know, we want more of the same when in those situations. Thomas, we think that, you know, if the game is tight towards the end, you know, he offers something a little bit different and can spark things. So we think that's the right way to go for this particular series.